So I'm doing this on my old phone, so it might crash. So that's why I hesitated a little bit when I started. I mentioned the other day I might make a video on when me and my sister used to watch VHS videos together in the 80s. We used to watch films on TV as well, but we used to like going to the video shop when we were growing up, and we watched all kinds of things, including films we weren't old enough to watch. But I'll just talk about a few, and they're not in any particular order, it's just as they come to me. Right, so when we were really young, we used to like watching films like The Time Bandits, which, if you don't know, it's about these dwarves and the steel gods map of all the holes in time, and then they go around robbing all like famous figures in history, like they rob Napoleon and who else? I think it's King Theseus. He's the one who killed the Minotaur, and they rob people on the Titanic, and they meet Robin Hood. And it's just a funny kids film. It's really good. I recommend it if you haven't seen it. I don't want to say too much because I'm not very good at doing film reviews anyway. I'm terrible at it actually. But I recommend it if you've never seen it. And we also like things like Legend. That's an early Tom Cruise film, and it's like set in a fantasy world, directed by Ridley Scott, and Tim Curry's in it as like this devil creature, and the makeup's brilliant on that, you know. And it's like I said, there's like all elves in it, dwarves and things like that. And there's unicorns in it, and there's what you call it, like a goblin and like a pig monster thing. And there's another one, like a little like monster in like a suit of armour. It's really good. I recommend that too. And you know, it's just good kids film. I'm going to get to some of the more adult ones in a minute. I'm just, you know, I don't mean adult. I mean like, you know, horror films and stuff like that. And then what else? Why won't they come to me now? What else did we used to watch that were kids films? Damn my memory, it's so annoying. Like the Herbie films, we kind of liked them. We used to watch them anyway. They used to come out at like Christmas time and stuff like that. Clash of the Titans, the old one, I used to really like that when I was a kid. That's good. With the stop motion, you know, animation with the models. Ray Harryhausen, if you know who that is, he did all the effects on that. And then we liked things like they used to show a lot of old films when we were growing up, like Forbidden Planet, the old one. Leslie Nielsen's in that. It's not a comedy though. That was a good film. I liked it. And then like The Thing from Another World, but the old one. Like they did The Thing in the 80s, which I'll mention in a minute. But the old black and white one, and it's like a monster that's like a vegetable or something. Like there's a scientist who's, I think his hand gets chopped off, and then he starts growing more of them from this hand, like clones of it, you know, but like a vegetable monster. Little Shop of Horrors as well. We used to really like that. Ghostbusters. All kinds of things like that. There's one called, it's a comedy, it's called Planes, Trains and Automobiles. If you've never seen it, you should go and watch that. It's John Candy and Steve Martin, and they're both trying to get back to the homes, and it's like for Thanksgiving, you know, it's an American, isn't it, you know, thing that they have. And they're trying to get back, and everything just keeps going wrong. Like the cars break down, the train breaks down. They go at the beginning, they're trying to get on a plane, and it can't take off because of bad weather. It's a really good film. Like, it's really funny. John Candy was really funny anyway, though. So was Steve Martin. Steve Martin's in another one called The Man with Two Brains, and that's funny too. I'm just saying the names. I'm not going to like tell you too much about them. It's just like I'm just remembering things that we used to watch. Oh yeah, that's another one. Gremlins. Now I got a funny story about Gremlins. If you've ever seen it, at the end of the film, there's like a voiceover, and he says, you know, if you've ever have anything that breaks down in your house, you know, like a, you know, fridge, freezer or anything, or whatever he says, I can't remember the exact words, then, you know, check around the house because you might just have some gremlins. And then anyway, we watched it on VHS. It was the first time we ever watched it. Took it out and then went to put another film in, and the VHS broke. It was a top loader as well, by the way. The video broke anyway, we couldn't watch the next film. And then me and my sister, because we were only really young, this was when Gremlins was still quite new, it had just been released on video. So we were looking around for gremlins. Then this is another one as well. Crocodile Dundee, when that came out, my grandma rented it for us to watch. But when she brought it home, back to, well, it was at her house, it wasn't our house. When she brought it back and she went to put it in the video recorder, somebody said, wait a minute, that's not Crocodile Dundee. That's Nightmare on Elm Street. They put the wrong video in the box. So we almost watched that. At this time, we'd never really watched that many horror films. But not long after that, we did start. So I'll talk about one or two of the horror films we watched. So we watched Aliens. We watched Aliens before we watched Alien. By the way, I'm wearing the Alien t-shirt because it was one of my favourite films. Pretty cool t-shirt, I think. Anyway, yeah, so we watched Aliens first, which both of us really like that film. And then we watched what else? God, why can't I think? Terminator as well, the original Terminator. This is all on VHS. We just used to go at weekend and rent stuff. Then of course, like we both like things like Transformers as well, and we rented Transformers the movie, 1986. We didn't rent it in 1986, so I think it was 1987. Because I was a massive Transformers fan. It's just, I always got outvoted when I wanted to watch that. I'm not going into that though, it's too pathetic. I wanted to go to the cinema. Nobody would go with me, so I never saw it at the cinema. That's like my, Bart with Itchy and Scratchy the movie. That's the same thing for me. And anyway, we both liked science fiction. We saw The Thing as well in the 80s. Both like that. It's pretty gruesome though for kids, but we were more or less allowed to watch anything. More or less, like I think I said the other day, my mum won't let us watch The Exorcist. She'll let us watch The Thing, but she won't let us watch The Exorcist. And we watched films like Poltergeist, Poltergeist 2. Poltergeist 3 is terrible, but whatever. The Shining. All horror films like that. And we were too young to watch them. But like I said, nobody really bothered about us watching them. Maybe they should have done, really, but a bit late now, isn't it? This is, like, some of these are in the 90s as well, they're not all in the 80s. What else? When Terminator 2 came out, I had that on VHS, it was bought for me, and I wore the tape out, I watched it that much. I just thought it was brilliant. It was one of my favourite films. It still is, actually. It is brilliant. I think the effects still hold up today, to be honest. It's just such a good film, well made and everything. But yeah, I wore the tape out on that. There are others, I know there are. I have all these ideas before I start making a video, and then I turn on the camera and it's like it just all disappears out of my head. It's really annoying. We used to like watching TV anyway, a lot of TV shows like Star Trek and Star Trek The Next Generation and Babylon 5 and The X-Files. I've mentioned The X-Files before, I know. We didn't have those on VHS though because we couldn't afford it. Conan as well. I actually watched the second one, which is Conan the Destroyer, first. And then we watched Conan the Barbarian, and because I'd seen the second one first and I thought it was the second film, I didn't like it. I actually used to think the second one was better than the first one, which is weird because now it's the other way around, because the first one is actually better. I think it's because the second one is actually more aimed at kids, so that's possibly why. Also, I saw the second one first, so I was a big Schwarzenegger fan as well. I used to like all these films, like obviously Terminator, like I said, and then there's Predator, which another one of my favourite films. Total Recall, like that a lot as well. Well, really like it. Commando, that's cheesy but it's good. Raw Deal, that's a good one. The Running Man, that's great as well. I'm not going to like really go into them because I don't feel like there's any point. Plus, like I said, with my memory, there's no point anyway. But I mean, they are good films anyway. Like especially Predator, it's like an elite. If you've not seen it, probably most of you will have maybe, but it's an elite rescue team that's sent in to find these guys, and like they've disappeared in the rainforest or whatever. And when they get there, that's not really why they've been sent in. They get lied to. They're actually there to take out some guerrillas that, like, rebels or whatever. It's never really explained who they are. But anyway, they go in and they kill them all, and then they realise that something's picking them off one at a time, and then that is the Predator. And that's, it's really iconic Alien from the 80s, that is. I mean, I don't like the direction they've gone with them since. Predator 2 was good. Then they did the AVP films, and even though I like Predator and I like Aliens, it just didn't work. They set it on Earth, and it should have been set in space. The graphic novels that were out in the 90s, they were like, it was more like Aliens. It was more like the Predator being an Aliens film instead of just being a cheap film set on Earth. Because that's why they did it. But yeah, it should have been set in, like, on a colony in space and had colonial marines in it. That would have been cool, but for whatever reason, they didn't do it. I don't know. Do I have anything else to say? Jurassic Park, that's a film that I really liked. We actually went to the cinemas to see that when it came out. We only just got in as well because I don't know if anybody remembers, but the tickets for that sold out so fast. It was really hard to get in for ages. But I really liked it. But the people we went with, like one of them especially, was like, "Oh, the dinosaurs their mouths aren't wet enough." What are you talking about? You do better. He's the kind of guy who, like, he always had an answer for everything. You know what I mean? Always had to criticise everything. I didn't like him. I wasn't around him by my own choice. But anyway, whatever, I'm not talking about him. Like, me and my sister actually watched Hellraiser and things like that we were too young to watch. An American Werewolf in London. Top film. Brilliant. One of the best werewolf films ever made. And it's got good comedy in it as well. Yeah, I recommend that. Anyway, I hope that this hasn't been boring. Like I said, it's like I put the camera on and then I can't remember what I was going to say. I had all these things. I'd been thinking about it all day. But anyway, like I say, I hope this hasn't been boring. Maybe somebody finds this interesting. But, I mean, go and look up the films that I've mentioned. They're really good. Look up Event Horizon. I'll leave you with that one. That's a really good film. That's this ship called the Event Horizon. And it's got, like, this gravity drive on it. And it's supposed to open up a wormhole so they can, like, travel through space faster. Like, if you've seen Deep Space Nine, you'll know what a wormhole is. It's like a shortcut, really. But instead of opening a wormhole to Alpha Centauri, I think it's Alpha Centauri, it's another star system, it opens a gateway to hell. And then, you can imagine what happens next. Ship disappears, crew disappears, then the ship comes back, no crew. But I'm not going to say any more than that. If you've never seen it, I think it might be on Netflix, but don't quote me on that. If you've never seen it, go and have a look because it is really good. And Sam Neill's in it, and he's a good actor. And he plays a character that goes crazy towards the end. And it's just a good 90s horror film. Definitely recommend you see it. Lawrence Fishburne's in it as well, and who else? The guy that was in Gotham as Alfred, he's in it. Forgotten his name for some reason. Brilliant. Anyway, if you've never seen it, go and have a look. But anyway, I'm going to leave it there. Like I said, I hope this video hasn't been boring. I've just kind of rambled on a bit, so I don't know. If it is, I'm sorry. But if you liked it, you can tell me. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there. Thanks for watching, and bye for now. Bye.